This is my third time recording this because I keep having audio issues, so you better like it. Alright, so how did we get this? With a liner that has leaks all over it. So it's kind of a misnomer because you do have to fill in your lines, but you don't have to do it super cleanly. So duplicate the liner, because this is the one that we're going to mess up and make ugly. But it's for a purpose, don't worry. And you go through it, and you just, what I'm doing is I'm planning the silhouette, so I'm going to do the selection inverse method, but without editing my actual line art. I'm going to be editing this placeholder line art instead. Well, I'm not going to be editing it, I'm going to be selecting it. So you can do whatever you want on the inside of the silhouette. It doesn't matter. Just as long as you clean up all of those leaks. See, so for the silhouette, I want to soften up that edge, but on the inside, it really doesn't matter. This is all on the same layer. It is all the same layer, duplication of the line art. You can do this in Photoshop too, but Photoshop has a built-in tool for selecting line art so that you don't have to do this. I can make a video about that one next. I'm going to leave that open so you guys can see what happens when you miss a leak. And that, you can use this method, this next method on whatever line arts you want. If they're super bold, super thick, and don't have any leaks, or if they do have leaks. Wow, okay, that wasn't a leak. I'll leave a couple open so you can see what happens. Alrighty, so this is what happens if you miss some of the leaks. Thankfully inside it just makes it super visible for you so you can see exactly what's happening. Now to find out where you put those leaks, just pretending I didn't know, I like to use my color and put some slashes in it. And then you can segment it out even more if you want. And then you can see where those leaks are isolated to. So they are clearly in this segment and this segment. You can leave this up as a duplicated layer, but I don't bother, so I just undo all of the lines and just sort of remember where my leaks were based on what I saw, but you can do it however you want. Still have some gaps in there. There we go. And then that is your selected silhouette. I like to zoom, you don't have to zoom in, but I like to increment, and I'm zooming in to show you. And this will increment, which moves the selection in a little bit. Selection invert. And then you can fill with a paint bucket, or you can press Alt-Delete to fill. I'll fill with a paint bucket for now. Let's give him a different color. Let's go green. And then you move your original line art up. You can get rid of that line art. And then there you go. He's green. And this is where you do any cleanup. Places that got overfilled. Places that you don't like the shape that you were given. If you want to give them gaps within there, you do that now. Alright, and that is how you do it. This works on super thin line arts. It works on line arts that are super, super thick. Like if you're if your line art looked like this, but still had gaps in it, you can use this method on that as well. You know, you just duplicate your line art, and then you fill in the gaps like usual. Paying attention again to the silhouette. And then if you had a super thick line art that you wanted to leave open in some areas, but you also wanted to select it later, we can do that. So then we do that. Selection increment. I don't think that worked. Selection increment, selection invert. Then we can fill in with green. Get rid of our block line art and put our normal line art back up. And then here's another trick if you wanted to color these lines. Hold down Control and Shift, and it highlights everything in here. So yeah, you know, aside from preserving opacity, which is one way to do it. You know, if you wanted to like put a bunch of blue stuff up in front of the line art. Anyway, play around with it. It's super fun. Alright, have fun. Make a lot of messes. Leave your line art open, let it breathe. Do whatever you want.